Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Hey, welcome. It's Monday. Welcome to your new week. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I'm really excited to do the show today. So much, I had so many thoughts and so many things that gave me kind of perspective to share with you over the weekend. So first, let me catch you up with the farm things, because I always do that. I like to do that. You know how much I love my farm and how important I think it is that we all connect to nature every single day. We are beings that are meant to live with the earth, not just on it, you know? So I got some updates. If you follow me for a while, you know about my little black calf, Bubba, who isn't little anymore. He's a big boy. Anyway, he has relocated. He is off into the yonder, into much bigger pastures where he can't be such a big pain in the you-know-what. So bless you, Baba. I'm glad you've been relocated. So my herd is now smaller. I'm down to 5. I'm down to 5 head of cattle. And it feels actually a little light. I raise them long enough to know that they're independent at that point. So I can't get rid of them when they're super small, and super small. Bubba's massive. He's 14 months old, I think Jason and I thought. Yesterday we did the calculation. I think he's 14 months old, maybe 15 months old. He's a big boy. Thus, Bubba. So, see you later, Bubba, because you don't need your mama anymore, right? And you're just causing problems around here, like getting through the fence and everything. So I get to the point where they're big enough and I can just feel like nobody's going to really, I mean, when they're little, have you ever seen these calves like separated from their moms? Oh gosh, I can't do it. I'm not a very good farmer, rancher, whatever you want to call me, I guess, because I just can't do it. They like literally cry. It's awful. Anyway, there was no crying involved yesterday. But we did get Bubba and Rusty and the 2 visiting cows into a trailer yesterday, which was quite an experience, let me tell you, getting them into the trailer. But anyway, they're on their way. They're released into the yonder. So that's kind of exciting anyway for us around here, down to 5 head of cattle. I think we're expecting 2 calves probably in May. So we'll be back up to 7 probably. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on around the homestead. And the other thing, so, when I'm out and about, connecting to nature, I always have these kind of thoughts about how important it is to connect to nature and whatnot. But I was listening to some stuff online on a podcast over the weekend as well. And it's this Raymond Ibrahim. And again, he's Egyptian. And this is a scholar, right? He's a scholar. He has made his life's work about understanding Islam. And so I definitely want to talk to you about that again. I'm not going to, I know I've been talking about this a lot lately, but I think it's on my heart because it is so important. Why does she keep talking about Islam or whatever? I don't know if anybody's thinking that, but if you are, let me tell you why. Because I believe that Islam is the mechanism, one of the mechanisms that they're trying to use to push people in to a digital slave system. And this, of course, is the digital ID that I've been talking a lot about. If you can create enough chaos, then people will beg for the solution from that chaos. And man, there's so much I want to share with you about this. I want to know if people are going to be capable, ready, and willing to take responsibility for shaping the culture in this country. And that's an honest question. Are people ready, capable, and willing to take personal responsibility for the culture in our country? Because it is so necessary right now that we get away from the politically correct mind virus that is shaping people. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but shaping people to not be afraid of danger. That's what this has done. This sick mind virus has taught people somehow in our country, to not be afraid of danger. They've done that through weaponizing kindness, through weaponizing tolerance. And I tell you, it's starting to freak me out. It really is. I want to play this first clip for you and kind of introduce you to a man named Raymond Ibrahim, and he is again a scholar on Islam, helping me and many people understand what we need to understand for our own safety. Take a listen to this.
Okay. The Taliban is just one more Islamic group, and it's a Salafi group, etc. But it's those Muslims who take their Islam rather seriously. And so all the negative stuff comes along with it. Hatred for the infidels, suppression of the infidels, killing blasphemers and apostates. Women are kept as chattel, sex slaves is permissible. All the usual destruction of churches, religious temples, and et cetera, et cetera. So this Muslims Against Islamophobia group is happy to praise the Taliban, who does that, while in Spain it's crying because it's been triggered because a priest actually spoke truth, right? So that's where we're at. And then I guess another final point is that in court, Ballester explained that his remarks focused on radical jihadism and we're not a generalization of all Muslims. They, on the other hand, the group Muslims Against Islamophobia, he said, the same people who support the Taliban and have said that the Catholic religion is, I can't make myself say it, S-H-I-T. This is him talking. He says that they said that this group has called the Catholic religion S-H-I-T, feces. And he continues, I've never said that about Islam. But of course, you're still the bad guy. Okay, so these are the facts that we've just gone over of this case. The man has been found guilty. The only thing we're waiting on is to see if he's going to get the sentence of 3 years.
This is why I go hard on hate speech, you guys. There is no hate speech. There is no hate speech. There is speech that other people do not like. There is speech that we find repulsive. There is speech that we find repugnant. There is speech that the main population of people will not embrace. Thankfully, we all have kind of a moral compass, right? But there is no hate speech, and there cannot be. And the reason why there cannot be is because when we put something as broad as a definition of hate speech on speech, we then hand over the power for somebody to regulate that speech. And somebody, and I'm certain eventually, they're going to use AI to regulate hate speech. But don't be fooled by this, because see what they're going to say is, oh, well, the AI knows best. The AI knows how to determine what hate speech is. But in his own admission, Sam Altman, who has developed ChatGPT, by his own omission, he said, well, if you have to put a face to who is programming ChatGPT, I guess that would be me. So who voted Sam Altman in? Who voted tech bros in to determine what is truth and what is right and what is wrong, right? It's very subjective. And so even if you try, but this is what they're going to try to do, because this is technocracy. This is the idea of technocracy, which is championed by Patrick Wood. Technocracy News is his organization. But this idea of technocracy has been around since the 70s. And it is an idea that is suggesting that science and technology knows better than humans. Now, the problem with that is that it doesn't even make sense when you think about it, because who is programming technology if it isn't humans? Right? It's humans, and it's human ideology that's programming it. But it just so happens those humans that are programming the technology, it just so happens that the ideology supports their products and their innovation. And it just so happens that it diminishes our freedoms. And so my concern is in this area, in this topic, with this particular situation in Spain, it's a Spanish priest. And he has written an article about the truth on Islam. And this has been determined, and it's just wild. It's actually just wild. You'll see in the second clip, which I'll play when we come back after this short break in a minute here. It is just wild because he is taking words directly out of the Quran. And these are the words that are determining, and he has been convicted of hate speech. So the words that he is using from the Quran to write an article, and again, he's a priest, a Catholic priest, has been determined hate speech. Now, you got to look at the big picture here, because I think a lot of people think, well, this is Muslims trying to conquer the West. This is the globalists allowing Muslims to get to a certain point in the West. This is the globalist cabal allowing Muslims to get to a certain point in the West. And when we get to the certain point in the West, they will roll out a solution. And it just so happens that that solution will be digital ID for your safety. We're getting very serious on this now because we're seeing some really bold moves here. Stay tuned. It's Monday, and it's Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Did you know that Naturally Inspired Radio is now streaming on 100 plus video, podcast, and social media platforms? Just search your favorite platform for Tammy Cuthbert Garcia or Naturally Inspired Radio. We're everywhere you listen, watch, and connect. Help us reach more people. Like our posts, follow our channels, leave a comment, or join the chat. And don't forget to visit naturallyinspiredradio.com anytime for the full list of where we're featured online and on radio. It's funny, you guys, because I've returned to TikTok. I've been kicked off TikTok. Now, let me tell you, it's just comical at this point. I think this, like, I left my, okay, I think I'm on 7 or 8 different new accounts from TikTok. I don't know. I've lost track because I've been booted off of so many different platforms. I just got such a big mouth. I just can't shut up on this stuff. I was reflecting on that today, actually, because I had some really profound meetings today with you all. And man, like, it's really heavy out there in the health world. And when I say heavy, I mean like people are being so misguided. And they're suffering. They're really, really suffering. And I feel your suffering when I'm talking to you. And I understand your frustration and your pain. And gosh, I just wish I could stop it. You know, I wish I could stop it. But the only way we stop it is actually we need to turn into a bit of an army ourselves, right? Where we pass this information on to one another. And that still is my strong belief that that is how we'll change health culture in the country. But yeah, it's heavy out there. It's heavy out there. But anyway, I'm back on TikTok and I still can't, I'm not on Facebook yet, but I'm going to try to get back on these platforms. But I'm back on TikTok and I was watching some of my videos over the, you know, I think I have, I don't know, on this last, what I did on this last account is I got warned. I got warned that I was going to get the boot. So I shut up. And I just left it alone for a couple months. And so I went back to it yesterday because I know this is how I'm going to spread the word, but yet I'm dancing with the enemy here, right? I mean, that's what I feel like I'm doing all the time. I'm dancing with this enemy, like, oh, look at me over here, but also like, don't kick me out, right? How far can I push it? Because I know the need out there. I mean, I talked to 4 of you this morning. And you're hurting, you're suffering. So I know the need out there, but like it's hard for me to get to you because of this blockage on all the social media platforms. So I have to go around it. But I'm watching my stuff on TikTok that I posted recently, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is such a, like, I come off as like such a serious person. And I'm actually not. Like, if you talk to my family, they'll be like, oh, you know, she's not serious all the time. Like, that's not her at all. So she's actually, like, I think the way most people describe me will be like down to earth. That's like the one common thread I could tell you, that people always say, oh, she's down to earth, you know? And of course, I love to laugh and have a good time and stuff like that. So, but this is a serious business that I'm in. And so I was like, you know, we're living in this weird world where we have these outlets to express ourselves on, which is great. Okay. But it's also like you have to pretend to be something else in order to attract people to your algorithm or whatever, right? You have to fit into the box of the algorithm in order for people to actually see you. And let me tell you, I am terrible at that. I don't like it. Don't tell me what to do. Like, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to be. I'm not going to be your fake whatever. That's just not me. Anyway, so I was trying to get my TikTok, you know what, in order. And I realized they have filters on TikTok. Like, I knew that they had filters, but like I didn't know that these filters were so real. So like I started putting these filters on and I was just dying laughing. I was sending them to my sister, like, look at this one, look at this one. Like, you guys, it didn't even look like me. It looked like some weird AI supermodel version of me, right? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I started looking at the TikTok, just like my feed or whatever that comes to me. And I'm like noticing everybody's using that filter. And I'm like, that's why everybody's starting to look the same. It's because I didn't know, like I knew the obvious filters, you know, that make your eyes all crazy or put like bunny ears on you and stuff. But I didn't realize that these filters could like, just like tweak you just to like, you still look human, but like, just like a really good supermodel version of yourself. I didn't get that until yesterday. And I was like, wow. This is like, I mean, it's just the damage that this is doing to your ego, to your self-esteem, the psychological damage that this is doing to you, this blurring of reality and virtual reality. I still like, I can't really quantify it. But what a trap. What a trap that is, right? To get you to spend more time on these platforms. They allow you these tools to glorify your natural image. And see, look at me. And you guys, people are using these. And it blows my mind because they're using these. And then they're taking compliments from them. Like, I have seen people who I know in person, okay? They're using the AI in videos or to enhance their photos or the filters or whatever. And then in the comments, it's like, you look great. And they're like, thank you. Like, the mind, you know what? Like, holy psychological warfare. Holy psychological warfare. That's all I can say about that. But this goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about when I'm saying like we're being conditioned to not like respond to reality. And it's interesting because I remember having a conversation with my sister about this like years ago about how we were noticing that people weren't responding in the right way with things. Like they just weren't like hot potato, they throw you something and people would just like stand there. You know, they weren't like, oh, let me get that for you. You know, like if we're seeing it like in subways, right? Like somebody's getting beat up and people are filming it, but they're not like responding in the right way. Because, right, your natural like human sense would be to protect. You know what I mean? Like protect that person because this is danger, right? We're just not like, that's what virtual reality is doing. That's what living through the portal is doing. It is taking away your human response. And that is such a valuable weapon to technocracy and to the powers that be that are trying to control and implement digital ID. Because you're happier not being you. Like, just, that makes me sad. Just think about that. You're happier pretending to be a different version of yourself that doesn't really exist. But it's keeping you on this platform. It's keeping you there, which is what they need in order to monetize these platforms. It's wild. So that, I believe, is going to be part of, like, we almost have an addiction to this now because it's feeding our egos. We can be, and I'm not calling anybody out here, but I know a lot of people that are posting and looking a certain way online, and they ain't looking that way when I see you in the reels. Okay? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm 50. I get it. But it's not healthy. And you're good enough. You're good enough. And yeah, aging is tough, but I want to encourage you to dive into your purpose. Because when you dive into your purpose, it won't be as tough. You won't be so broken or hurt by the way you're changing aesthetically if you know what you're doing every day is meaningful. Because we're in real danger with this clinging to virtual and this inability to recognize real danger anymore. What am I talking about that? Well, in terms of Islam, this is a danger. This is a real danger. And anyone who tells you it's not is not being truthful with you. It is not conducive with Western culture. Listen to this second clip from Raymond Ibrahim, okay? Listen.
Titled The Impossible Dialogue with Islam, and it came out in 2016, all right? So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to read it to you, most of it, at least the main excerpts, and I'm going to do a little commenting on it, and then I'll give you a full analysis afterwards. But the primary point is this is what's getting this man in trouble. Okay, this what we're going to read at, and I'm going to look at now, is why he is a hateful person who's going to jail for 3 years. Okay, unless there's some sort of appeal or something changes. So he wrote in December 29th, 2016. This is what he wrote online, and you can find it online. He starts it off by quoting Quran 9:29, which I'm fond of quoting and have memorized. Because it's a very pivotal and important verse in the Quran, especially for the people of the book, us Christians and Jews and others. And so at the very top of his essay, it starts off by saying, "Fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day, nor comply with what Allah and his messenger, Muhammad, have forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth from among the people of the book until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves utterly subdued." All right, that's Quran 9:29, and this verse, of course, I've talked about it before, is the cornerstone verse that has declared eternal war on Christians and Jews. Okay, because it says the people of the book. Muslims themselves have defined the people of the book as Christians and Jews, and
Stay tuned, everybody. Let's unpack that when we come back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I am so glad you're here. We'll be right back.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska's C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska's C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit c60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code Tammy at checkout for a special discount.
Did you know that the powerful antioxidants in your favorite cellular reset have been shown to activate your body's longevity genes, helping protect cells from aging and stress at the source? So Lisa from Texas shared this with me. I've tried so many supplements over the year, but nothing made a difference like this cellular reset. Within 2 weeks, my energy came back, my joints felt looser, and my mind was sharper. It's like my body finally woke up again. Tammy really took the time to understand my health story and guided me step by step. You can try it today yourself. Get a free membership, 15% discount, and money back guarantee at naturallyinspiredstore.com/reset. You can text your questions to me, 720-303-8868. I laugh because Jason always makes fun of me because I say backslash instead of forward slash. I tell you, I'm an analog girl living in a digital world. You're lucky I'm doing this. You're lucky I'm doing this, I'm telling you. It's so hard for me. You would not know. You would not understand how hard it is for me to live in this techno world. So let's get back to this clip that I just shared with you. Again, so I think I love this term of cafeteria Catholic, because I think as Western culture, we can relate to this one. Okay. You know, you're cafeteria Catholic, right? Somebody who pretty much does whatever during the week, goes to church on Sunday, says, I'm sorry. And then they go back to doing what they're doing on Monday, right? I mean, I hate to simplify it. I don't want to simplify it. And I'm not Catholic, but I'm not saying anything disparaging about anybody's religion here. Okay. I'm not. Even the Muslim religion. Do I believe in it? No. Do I think it should be promoted in the West? No. But I am all for your right to practice your religion. And especially in your own country. And if you want to practice your religion in America, then that is your right also, because we have freedom of religion and that is what this country was founded upon. However, if your religion is going to require you to take the life of somebody else that doesn't believe in your belief system, we're going to have a problem. And that is why I say that Islam is not conducive with the West. Because it is not. And you can twist it, and you can turn it, and you can say, that's not what that means. And that is what that says. And my fear for Western culture is that because we have been spoon-fed this virtual reality and this culture of inclusiveness and kindness, just be kind. Just be kind. That has a different meaning to me now. Because do you remember when the campaign of Just Be Kind was launched? If you look at the campaigns that have been launched over the last decade especially, you just kind of stand back and you go, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This was a concerted effort to disarm, to change your natural inclination to detect danger, to respond appropriately. And it's done it from a biological perspective in the way that it has changed your brain. The way technology works and the repetition of it has changed the way your brain responds. And it's not me saying it, okay? I'm talking about Harvard studies that confirm that technology has changed the human brain, how we respond, how we act, what is how we interpret things, how we communicate, okay? This isn't me saying this by myself. There is legitimate research backing it. And it just so happens that these globalists have this agenda. They have this agenda called, well, it's called a lot of things. They've tried a lot of campaigns. I mean, the Great Reset, right? Climate change, inclusive diversity, LGBTQ, whatever, on and on and on and on and on. Black Lives Matter. Like, we have been bombarded with campaigns, marketing campaigns to shape culture in the country. But all of those campaigns, it just so happens that they end with us with less freedom and less choice. And I think that this Islam that we're seeing now in the West, in the UK, in Canada, in the US, is another campaign. I want to share with you this clip out of Canada recently. Take a listen.
Farsi or English? Farsi. Farsi. Ready? Yek. Go. Say.
I don't, Farsi or English? Farsi, last time I checked, French was the second language in Canada. I'm not quite understanding why French Canadians, I mean, I'm born and raised in Canada. I know all about you French Canadians. And you very much want to dig your heels in the sand and preserve your culture. What's happening here? Why is this not a problem? Little Iran was launched in Canada. You say, oh, well, we have Little Italy and we have, Little Korea and all these different places in New York and all over. Like, what's the big deal? Little Iran practices Islam. And Islam is not conducive with the Western world. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Does that make me an Islamophobe? No, it actually means that I have respect for that religion. So much respect that I have the foresight to see this is not going to work out, This is not going to work out. This is like a bad match for a bad marriage. And this is going to end poorly. And so guess what? We need space. We need space for peace. And what's happening here, and I don't believe it is Islam even. I mean, this is opportunity for Islam because the borders are wide open, have been wide open for these people to come in. And so when your doctrine tells you, go conquer the West and win everybody over to Allah or else, then, hey man, when you open the door, people are going to go. And this is just, it's not going to end well for anybody because really who's controlling the strings here are the globalists. We're seeing it. Watch the UK. They just implemented the digital ID in the UK. Why? They tell you because of immigration. It's because of immigration. They open the borders wide open. They let all this flood in. They know it's not conducive with the UK culture. And then they bring you the solution. Just when it gets bad enough, when 13-year-olds are being stalked in the street, when people are being thrown in prison for hate speech against it, just when it starts to really bubble up, they're going to usher in a solution. And, the UK is not happy about digital ID and they're not accepting it. Do you think this is the first form? This ain't the first. This is the trial run. We're going to do the digital ID, and all the people go, no, we're not doing it. We're going to rally. We're not going to do it. And then comes the toned down one that they've been trying to sell all along. This one's protected. This one's not centralized. Well, it doesn't contract this. You guys, the software is all the same. It's all the same. They're going to slap different labels on it and tell you, just like they do. Listen, these patterns mirror themselves all over. They mirror themselves all over. It's just wild when you see it. It's like, really? Are they that dumb? Like they have to keep repeating the same pattern? Yes, they do, because it works. So if you want to see what is going to happen with digital ID, just look at your food system. Your food system used to be, we had all these different producers of food, right? You walk into a grocery store, this company made that company made this. What happened? Corporate America, the globalists, the people above, they started buying up all these companies. And they just kept putting them under their umbrella of their big centralized food company. Now, over 80% of our food supply comes from the same handful of companies. But when you walk into the grocery store, it looks as though you have all this choice. It's the same thing for artificial intelligence and digital IDs. Same thing. It's a couple of software companies, a couple of artificial intelligence companies, all racing to capture the contracts to do this. And I believe the mechanism going to be used to create utter chaos, because COVID wasn't quite enough. They thought it might be, but it wasn't quite enough. So, they tried COVID, they tried Black Lives Matter, they tried the race war within the country, and it just wasn't quite enough. And now we're going to get drug in to a holy war, essentially, that most of us Americans and like Westerners, we don't even know what it's about, let alone care about it. We barely know, we barely understand it, because you got to be like almost a scholar to understand this true holy war. It's very spiritual. It's very ritualistic. And the intricacies of it, most people don't have the time to understand. You're talking about trying to understand, 100 years of battle here. But we're being drug in. Make no mistake about it. Stay tuned. It's time for your naturally inspired moment, and we'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Most people never get to the root cause of their fatigue, their weight gain, or even their inflammation because they're chasing symptoms instead of restoring balance and responding to communication from their body. So Laura from Colorado said, I was tired of quick fixes that never lasted. Tammy helped me see what my body was really asking for. With her plan, I regained my energy, improved my digestion, and finally feel in control of my health again. So try it today. Get a 90-day plan for me, priority access to my text line and email, and VIP access to weekly wellness workshops. You can schedule your free health and lifestyle assessment at naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment. If you have questions at any time, just like, what does this mean? Because I know it's a new model. Like, it took us, trust me, it took us forever to figure this out. But we were truly wanting to provide something in the marketplace that people needed and wanted. And boy, have we found it. So if you don't understand it, just text me. I'm happy to explain. I'm fully transparent. 720-303-8868, naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment. Book your assessment with me today. You'll be so glad that you did. Okay, let's move into our naturally inspired moment for today. Such an important topic. What is and what isn't strength? That's what I want to talk about today. Because I think especially Gen Xers, like, we got it a little mixed up when it comes to what is strength and what isn't, just because of the way, the time we were raised in, running around the streets by ourselves, taking care of ourselves, parenting ourselves, pretty much. I mean, they fed us. Yeah, they put clothes on us and stuff. They gave us a house key. But other than that, I mean, if you got more than that, then hey, you were lucky. But from most Gen Xers that I know, that's kind of how we were raised. I don't know if our parents did. They just didn't know. It's just the time that we were being raised in. So as a result of that, I think that strength has been, it's a thing that we carry around with us. And we need to understand what it is and what it isn't. So most people confuse strength with control, thinking it means never bending or showing emotion. But real strength is trusting enough to release control, letting faith lead when fear wants to tighten its grip. So hardness is a shell. It's not a sign of strength. Hardness protects, but it also isolates. So true strength doesn't come from a clenched jaw or a cold heart. It comes from staying soft, open, and kind. I hate to even use that word now. In fact, I won't. What do I want to say instead of kind? Empathetic, reasonable, relatable, compassion. Even after being hurt, if you can still show those things towards other people after being hurt, that's a sign of strength. Real strength stays rooted in values, not approval. So when you stay aligned with your principles, even when it costs you comfort, friends, being liked, that's strength. It's the courage to choose integrity over image. And it's choosing peace over performance as well. That's real strength. Strength looks like gentleness in action. So it's being calm when chaos calls for reaction. Doesn't mean not responding. It means responding with calmness when everything around you is chaotic. I mean, if you take anything from this naturally inspired moment today, try practicing calmness and inserting it into situations in your life and circumstances in your life. It's like a superpower. You can walk into places if you really prepare for calmness for the day. I was talking about this with somebody this morning about transcendental meditation and how I've never been a big, person for meditation, because if you tell me not to think about something, then immediately I'm thinking about everything. I mean, I can recall memory from when I was 5. If you tell me not to don't think about anything. Yeah, right away. It's like thought. So I've never been somebody that connected to the term meditation, but I found transcendental meditation, and that's a little bit different of a technique. I liken it to diving underwater. When your bucket is full and you just feel like you can feel it in your nervous system. Problem solving for other people in your family that you love, and just like all the burdens of life, right? They fill your bucket up. And especially when you are a Gen Xer that's kind of been in service your whole life. And that's kind of been like part of your identity, is like serving other people. Because so many of us, I think just because of the way we grew up, being independent, we became servers of everybody else. Because it's like, hey, man, I do it myself. And also this is what every person needs. But Gen X especially doesn't like to recognize that we need it, because it feels like weakness. It feels like weakness. I want to say that again. It feels like weakness, but it's not. It's not weakness to allow someone else to serve you. I've actually been saying this to my clients lately, because there's so many of us that feel guilty about being served. I'm saying to them, allow me to serve you. Like, let me serve you. You're serving everybody else. You're taking care of your aunt. You're taking care of your grandma. You're taking care of your kids, your full-grown kids. Even still, you're problem solving for them, which I get it. I have full-grown kids too, and I don't think it's a switch you can turn off. But doesn't mean that you don't need to be served yourself and that you deserve it. That's the key thing. You deserve it. So try practicing the calmness thing, bringing calm into chaos. I'm telling you, in today's world, it's a superpower. Walk into a coffee shop that's crazy and manic. You can hear all the conversations going around you. Manic, blah, 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 right? Just walk in with the calmness. It's a game changer. And really, like, what else is there to be but calm? Your mania, it doesn't fix anything. It just puts more gas on the fire. Now, it's easier said than done, right? To actually truly experience calmness. You've got to have some anchors. You've got to get out in nature to fill your bucket up so that you can even retrieve calmness to exhibit in the world. So you got to get your feet in the ground. You got to spend some time with animals. They are such a great model for this, because they encounter fight or flight, right? Something spooks them. They feel like, oh, I don't know what that is. And they freak out for a little bit. And then 30 seconds later, they're like completely fine. It's a good example for us to follow. That's not how we are. We ruminate on things, right? That shouldn't have happened. Oh, traffic, like we just keep going on and on with it. And every time we amp ourselves up, we're pulling out of our calmness, right? So just by like choosing calmness and filling that bucket up with things like transcendental meditation, I tell you, it's like diving in underwater. You know, when you dive in underwater, it's all quiet. You can still hear everything, but it's muted. And there's like a freeness in it because you feel weightless. You stay there for a while. And when you come up out of the water, you feel kind of refreshed, right? And you have a new take on the things that you're hearing. That's transcendental meditation. That's what it does for you. It allows you to go quote, underwater, get some peace, feel weightless. And then when you come up, it's weird because you're just like more equipped to bring calmness into situations. So a practice of that every day. And maybe the meditation isn't for you, and that's totally fine. It's just one tool. It's also nature does that, right? Number 5, nature's example is resilience, not resistance. Resilience, not resistance. The tree that bends in the storm survives. The one that resists breaks. And that's what I'm talking about when I say, that control part of it, right? The first principle that I was talking about here was strength isn't control. It's surrender with faith. So your faith is your bend. If you're a tree, right, and you're able to bend in the storms, and then, the storm's over and boop, you're back up, right? That's your ability to bend, is your faith. You got to work at your faith, right? You got to practice your faith. You've got to take that time to connect to faith in order to build your bend for the storms, for the chaos, in order to be the peace in those chaotic situations. And let me just reiterate that peace is not weakness. It doesn't mean passiveness. It doesn't mean you give in or whatever. Take a knee. That's not peace. Peace is strength and your ability to not lose it during chaotic times. It's your calmness. Very difficult to curate, but you get better at it every year. And I feel like 50 might be the door that kicks in the peace. Like literally, I think you hit 50 and then you just boot the door down. Okay, I'm here. I'm going to be peace now. I think it's because you need the peace in order to step into who you're truly supposed to be for the rest of your life. When we're in our 20s and 30s, 40s even, we're raising kids, we're running from here to there, we're doing all these things that we think we have to do to keep our life together. And then our kids grow up and they start their own lives, and you got a lot more time to focus on yourself. And I think that's very meaningful. Like, I don't know, I feel like my 50s are actually my new 30s, because now I did what I was supposed to do. I stayed home with my kids. I raised them. I'm so grateful I did. I'm so grateful I did. And now I'm going to bring even more meaning to my life by assisting other people. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're here. We have another hour to go. Stay tuned.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. This is hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Radio. Want to say thank you so much to Tony, Jennifer, Marshall, Amy, Brad, Tina, and Marion. Welcome to the Naturally Inspired community. We appreciate your becoming part of the community. We're so glad that you're here. We can't wait to meet with you on Tuesday with our weekly wellness workshop. And we're grateful. We're grateful for the audience support here because the mission of Naturally Inspired is to shape and change culture of health in America. And I don't think there's anybody out there, I really don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't think that we need a change in our health in this country. 76% of Americans are walking around with chronic illness. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It's wrong. It doesn't need to be happening. And it's only because of the commercialization of our health care system, which I would take argument with it. It's more disease care type of paradigm. That's why we're in this predicament, you know, because of our food supply, because of the pharma model, because of the culture around our health. It's a broad topic. But together, I think we can make a real difference. And so every time somebody joins the Naturally Inspired community, I know they're going to tell somebody else about it because they're going to get results. And you can't argue with the results. You can't argue with the truth. Eventually, you know, you can try your hardest to suppress it, and you can say, "Oh, that person's crazy," and you can attack their character and go ahead because I don't care. But eventually, the results start to show, and you cannot argue with results. That's why we have to stay steadfast and just keep doing the work, keep doing the work. But we can't do the work here without you. This is truly a community, and it's supported by you. So I want to thank you for supporting the Naturally Inspired community and our mission to change the healthcare model in this country. Don't forget to go to naturallyinspiredstore.com as well and register to win, because we give away free product every Friday. We gave away free product last Friday and the Friday before and the Friday before that. We give away something every Friday. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/win and you can enter to win as well. And you can enter as many times as you like. So don't worry about that. We have a system that it's a very complex algorithmic, did I say that right? Algorithmic system. Yes, it's very, very, very advanced. We put everybody's name on a piece of paper and we draw it. That's how we do it. I swear, that's how we do it. So it's the luck of the draw. It really, truly is. All right, let's get into the second half here because I have some wonderful stories I want to share with you. First up, I want to talk about Bill Gates, your favorite supervillain. Bill Gates on the scene again, banging his drum about digital financial inclusion, you guys. Digital financial inclusion. And of course, the digital identity system that's going to improve your life, everybody. Do you think that Bill Gates is concerned about the Muslims coming into the Western world? Because it doesn't seem like that he is. Interesting. Is Bill Gates a Muslim? No. Mm-mm. Oh, it must be because he's not a xenophobe. Could that be why? I don't know. Or maybe it's because he knows exactly. He knows exactly how to dismantle the West to usher in his solution, which is, by the way, Bill Gates's MO. That's how he does business. Watch him here tell you about it. Take a listen.
The ability to save and transact is something that should be universal, and a lot of forms have adopted that goal. We won't be able to do that with traditional systems. That is, the cost of bank branches and paperwork is just too high. But fortunately, starting with countries like Kenya, and more recently with a robust system in places like India, we see that you can have digital financial inclusion. India is a great example. They did a lot of their own technology, which won't be possible for other countries. And so the role of the Gates Foundation as an advocate for those who don't have access today is to make sure there's technology and standards, including open source work that we're providing through the financial switch, which is called Mojaloop, and through the digital identity system, which is extremely valuable, not just for financial activities, but for health and voting and education, and that's called MOSIP.
Since there isn't going to be a one-size-fits-all solution, what is the role that you see the private sector playing in being able to collaborate with different governments to ensure that we move forward?
Well, once you have the digital money system, then there's all sorts of services and applications that can be built on top of that, whether it's helping with health or education or agriculture, giving people visibility into their financial status, giving them advice, should they take a loan, should they buy insurance, what makes sense. The phone becomes a connection for low cost interaction with those customers that doesn't require human activity that, would.
First of all, let me point out, I'm pretty sure that this television interview or whatever is AI. Do you see the difference between Bill's face and this lady? I feel like that's probably AI. She don't look real to me. So that's interesting in itself, right? To imagine like, oh, I get to program my own AI interviews. I'm sure they'll really press me on the hard questions, you know? I'm sure I'll really get pressed on these artificial intelligence fake interview questions. I don't know if it is. It feels like it is to me. This is my opinion. So he's describing there to you the financial system that, it'll just be fantastic because we'll be able to build all these services on top of it, all these apps on top of it. It is one streamlined system. It's like he has to convince himself, he's got that hard swallow every time he gets a little nervous about pitching you on things. He gets a little nervous about pitching you. That's so great, He's a terrible salesperson. Like literally probably one of the worst people I've ever seen. And like we're so dead set on, solving the world's problems abroad. We got a lot of problems right here in America, Go walk down downtown Denver right now. There's a few problems you could probably tackle, but not Bill. No, he's interested in health and vaccines because the return on vaccines is enormous. And of course, he's interested in control, right? Because he's part of the marketing campaign for climate change, which that's precisely what climate change is all about, is that term was developed in a boardroom, everybody. It was developed in a boardroom in order to facilitate the rolling out of all the solutions for climate change, which just so happened to be everything that Bill Gates is invested in. Fake meat, right? Water, which I'm telling you, we should really be keeping our eyes on water because Bill would love to be able to control water from you, right? The reason why water is going to become a very hot commodity, it's already becoming a hot commodity, but it's going to become even more so because Bill is trying to be no pun intended, a gatekeeper for water. And the reason being is because water is needed to cool data centers. And in order to build out AI to the volume that they are going to need it for all of the things, for the integration of man and machine and everything that is going to be needed, the large language model on everything to control, we're going to have data centers all over. Now, I have a theory. I don't want to freak you out with my conspiracies or anything. You know how I am. But I do have a theory that a lot of these coastal fires, like the ones in Palisades and the one in Hawaii and multiple places that, these fires have taken out property right on the coastline. I do have a theory that I think that the reason for that could be a land grab, could be for data centers, because they have a data center in Sweden that is right on the coastline. It's a Google data center and it's right on the coastline. And actually the ocean is cooling the data center. I don't know. This is just me, thinking, rational thinking, just kind of like, wow, that's kind of odd. That they had that thought and did a little research. And then I thought, oh my gosh, yeah, they do. They actually have made submersions data center that are, they're like submarines. They go under the water for cooling. So ocean access for cooling data centers seems like it might be a thing. So, keep that in mind as we're moving forward. But if you really want to know Bill Gates's impact abroad, then I'd highly recommend studying Vandana Shiva's work. Vandana Shiva has written several books on this very thing that Bill Gates is trying to implement in India. And let me tell you, the people of India don't like it. I want to give you a close-up view of what social credit score and digital ID could look like We'll do that after the break because we're about to come up on another break. But in China, digital ID. And of course, this is where we're headed. Of course, this is where we're headed. Oh my gosh. If you're living in delusional denial, wake up. Like, I hate saying wake up because everybody's like, oh, you know, are you awake yet? Wake up. But like, really, like, what are you doing here? Think about this. Because we need you. The only way we get to be in control of shaping the culture in our life is through calmness, understanding what the chaos is for, and responding, not reacting. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
So did you know that taking collagen can boost hair thickness and strength for up to like 40%? Helping you grow fuller, healthier hair naturally. This is Angela from Idaho. She sent me a note. My hair was thinning and brittle. Tammy helped me start liquid collagen and gave me great lifestyle tips to go with it. Now my hair is thicker, shinier, and even my stylist noticed new growth. I feel like myself again. You can try it today and get a free membership at a 15% discount and money back guarantee. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/collagen, naturallyinspiredstore.com/collagen. You can text me if you have any questions about collagen at all. I feel like I'm the guru on collagen. I got the results myself. I see people in my community getting results. I've studied it at nauseum. So if you have any questions about collagen, text me because it's so much more than health or an aesthetic. It's actually helps lubricate your fascia, which is, that's your mobility. That's your independence. So yeah, everybody wants to have better hair, better skin, better nails, all that stuff, look better. But also, don't you want your mobility as you move through the decades of life? I know I do. Like my new goals when I was in my 30s or whatever, I just I want my skin to look good. I want my hair to look good. I want my nails to look good. And now in my 50s, I'm 50 and I'm like, yeah, I want to make sure I can get off the toilet by myself because I definitely don't want my kids having to help me on and off the toilet, Different goals for different seasons, that's for sure. So if you have questions about collagen, you want to know how it could benefit you, just text me, 720-303-8868. If you're ready to purchase and become part of the Naturally Inspired community, then just head right on over there to naturallyinspiredstore.com/collagen. Let's go to the Chinese credit score horrific video. Okay? Watch this, everybody.
They didn't go broke, they got deleted. In China, tens of thousands of young people are suddenly homeless, not because of money, but because the system erased them.
Imagine a society where everything you do, everything you say, and everything you buy is controlled and evaluated by the authorities. This is what the Chinese Communist Party calls social credit.
By using the mechanism of social credit, we'll be able to establish a blacklist of people and create a system of punishment that will be based on a scientific theory. These punishments will serve as a whip to rebuild moral values. Our society needs it.
The country's social credit system decides who's trustworthy. But if you're blacklisted, it's game over. Your WeChat Pay stops working, you can't receive your salary, can't buy food, can't even book a train ticket. It's like being alive, but digitally. Many are now sleeping in the streets, cut off from everything. Jobs, housing, even communication. All because one app, one algorithm decided they don't belong.
It's not science fiction. In China, it's a reality.
Then there's the public shaming. Photo galleries of blacklisted citizens. There's even an app that shows who around you is in debt.
They're not criminals. They didn't steal, cheat, or harm anyone. They just fell too low on a score and vanished from the digital world. Critics say it's a glimpse into the future, where technology doesn't just track your life, it controls it. So ask yourself, if your entire life depended on your digital reputation, how long before you get deleted?
Now think about that during COVID. Think about how many, COVID wiped out a lot of people's lives just because of the lack of freedom around it, because of the government's strategy to keep big business open and close little business, which I believe was all by design as well, because everything's being clamped down on. Anything that, brings freedom to the people, freedom of choice, it's outside the system that they have planned. And so that all gets shut down. Just imagine. This gives me chills, really, because how many platforms have I been kicked off of? I would think that we could unify on this. Even if you disagree with me, if you think that I should be silenced or put out on the street because of my belief system, you need to you really need to turn inward and think about that. You really need to, because your day is coming. There will be a day where you say, think, maybe even predict, because this is where this is going. It's not even about what you've done, but it's about what you will do. And there should be, there's no mistake about that. You heard a pre-crime. Do you remember Minority Report with Tom Cruise, where they predict crime, where they can do that because the algorithm tells them by your actions whether you may be thinking about committing something that would be socially unacceptable. If you can't see that that would negatively impact your life, then it's almost like your consciousness has been captured. I would say it isn't almost like, I would say your consciousness has been captured. If you are celebrating other people's inability to speak, if you are celebrating the silencing of voices that you find to be dissenting from what you believe in, boy. Because I'll tell you what, I don't want to shut anybody up. I say, keep talking. Please keep talking. Please keep doing those things, because that is only going to help the truth come out faster, because lies have a way of exposing themselves because they become so blatantly stupid. It just by default, it just becomes so blatantly stupid that you have to have no intellect in order to believe it. You just think, how much worse can it get? We've all been saying that now for 6 years almost. How much worse can it get? How much, there are people lining up for their 9th COVID shot. I gotta believe at some point, common sense may return. I gotta believe that. I'll never give up on people. Because somewhere inside of them, there is a spark, a light of intuition. There is a light of common sense thinking. And the more the insanity that is being pumped out, like, accepting Islam in the Western world, promoting Sharia law in the Western world, like that's gonna really put some. If I ask you to wear a hijab or whatever, how about if your daughter has to wear a burqa? Like, are these the things that are going to like apply enough pressure to like pop people out of the insanity here? I don't know what will, but it will be something for somebody at some point. Everybody will have their, what I call, frying pan moment. It's inevitable because that's how the truth works. But the question is, how far is it going to go for some people? And how far does it need to go for the majority till we get like a good majority where we're all united in the fact that we should have freedom of speech and that there's a reason why it's number one. It's a reason why it's number one on the list here in America. When you silence people, all you do is push them into the annals of the world where it's much more hidden and nothing good happens down there, does it? So that's a scary video. That's a scary video. And it should scare you. And it should unite you with your fellow citizens on your Constitution. And you should claim your culture, like we talked about at the beginning of the show today. Are you willing, able, and capable to shape your own culture in your own country? You're going to have to let go of the guilt, right? That was a commercialized campaign weaponized against you for a very specific outcome. You do not have to feel guilty about wanting to live in your country with your culture. You have a right to that. That's why we have countries, because, hey, it's different over here. It's different over there. This is the way they do things here. I love that. I love that. And when I visit places, I love to experience other cultures. I love it. But when I come home, I want to know what to expect in my home. And this is where I choose to live because this is conducive with my values and my belief system. And I want to do no harm to anybody else. So this is where I want to live. There is nothing wrong with that. I can't believe I even have to say that. But the weaponization of your kindness, your inclusiveness, don't be a hater, don't be this, don't be that. I don't know. I hope we can back out of it. I hope we can back out of it because the alternative is this. The alternative is this social credit score that is coming fast. It's just crazy that we even have to and I know so many of you, because you write me and you say the same thing, that it's like everything that was right is now wrong and everything that was wrong is now supposed to be right. Like we are living in an upside down world. It is not a coincidence. This is a spiritual war. My question and my prayer every day is that people will have the light in them enough to want to rekindle it and have the capability and the willingness to shape their own culture in their country. Respectfully. I'm not saying violence. I'm not saying anything like that. That's not strength. Strength is peace in the chaos, everybody. But you have to practice it. It's a skill. I practice it all the time. Not perfect at it, that's for sure. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Naturally Inspired Radio, now streaming on 100+ video, podcast, and social media platforms. Just search your favorite platform for Tammy Cuthbert Garcia or Naturally Inspired Radio. We're everywhere you listen, watch, and connect. We're just not pushed out. So you have to look for us. Help us reach more people by liking our posts, by following our channels. Leave a comment or join the chat. That helps the algorithm pick it up as well. And don't forget to visit naturallyinspiredradio.com anytime for the full list of where we're featured online and on radio. Again, that's naturallyinspiredradio.com. Okay, let's get back into some stories here. I want to get to aluminum and your allergies because a lot of people, there's an explosion of allergies, right? It's like when we were kids, nobody really had food allergies, right? So I get this question all the time, like, what's causing all the allergies? Or I talk to people and they're like, I'm allergic to this, I'm allergic to that. Well, yeah, you're at this point, the integrity of your gut, you have that leaky gut syndrome that we talk a lot about, is causing your body to have a histamine reaction to certain things. And it's only going to grow until you heal your gut. You have to heal your gut. You got to heal and seal your gut. And there's a bit of a formula to that, but it can be done. So I want to share it. I wanted to share with you this clip where Bobby Kennedy Jr. explains the connection to aluminum in injections, vaccines, and allergies. So take a listen.
Here's something that people should know, is that aluminum provokes an allergic response, and that's why it's valuable. So if you put the aluminum in with the viral antigen, your body now mounts an allergic response to that viral antigen, whether it's polio or hepatitis B or the HPV or whatever. So, but what we now know, the science suggests, is that the aluminum also creates allergic responses to anything that's in the ambient environment. So if you have a peanut oil excipient in that vaccine, and you put aluminum in it, now you could have a lifetime allergy to peanuts. If there's a Timothy weed outbreak, the week that you get that aluminum vaccine, you now may have a lifetime allergy to Timothy weed. And that's why probably, there's 2 studies by Mawson and Cowlings, which show that children who are vaccinated with aluminum vaccines have 30 times the rate of allergic rhinitis as kids who don't. And, all of these food allergy epidemics date to the time that we started giving these kids this aluminum. And because my kids have these allergies, I'm one of the founders of the Food Allergy Initiative and the Food Allergy Network, which is the biggest food allergy research group. And so that group has scientists from all over the world who are giving food allergies to rats and then figuring out how to treat them. How do they give the allergy to the rat? They take the aluminum the adjuvant from the hepatitis B vaccine add a latex molecule, and that rat now has a permanent latex allergy. You add a peanut molecule, and it now has a permanent peanut allergy. You add a dairy molecule, it now has a permanent dairy allergy. Oh, you wonder why all of this whole generation of children is allergic to stuff. It's because we've been inducing allergies by pumping them full of aluminum.
That's great. That's crazy. Yeah. Thank you very, very much for coming on.
Gosh, that really fires me up when I watch that because, of course, you know, when I was trying to bring my son back into homeostasis after, oh, God, it just makes me want to puke. But he was signaling to me from his first vaccine that he wasn't processing them right. And I just didn't know what the signals were. Right? I had no idea what the signals were. I thought I was doing everything right. I was taking my doctor's advice. I was trying to be the very best mom I could be. And man, I was really screwing it up. And so you have to move on from that, you know, but now I have the hindsight of going, oh my gosh, you know, the rhinitis they talked about. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I dealt with these signals from him his entire childhood, until I was able to finally heal his gut. And it's interesting because now he's 22 and he doesn't deal with any of those things anymore. But that's not been without huge sacrifice, right? Like the kid barely eats processed foods. You know, we have a whole system, right? There's been no antibiotics needed. Like you're constantly working on the gut to bring it back into proper balance. So this makes a lot of sense, right? Because like I said, when we were kids, there was barely anybody allergic to anything. Now the vaccine schedule has, you know, just gone off the rails with I think it's 72 different injections by the time a kid is 18 years old. And what do we have? This explosion of food allergies. And I know I've played this clip before on the show, but I think it's really important because as the naturally inspired community grows, more and more people are coming to me with these types of, well, I can't eat that because I'm allergic to dairy. I'm allergic to eggs even. They're getting histamine reaction to eggs. Well, look at your vaccine list. So what do? You got to heal the gut first. And then you should be able to reintroduce stuff once your gut is healed so that you're not having this kind of histamine response every time you eat these foods. And it may be that you never get to heal from the actual allergy itself, but you can always improve the integrity of your gut for better health outcomes overall. Gosh, it's so frustrating, you know? It's so frustrating because the very things they tell you to do for health, more times than not, are the very things that are causing the illness. So frustrating. Let's move into my next story because I want to make sure I cover this. Health insurance. Shout out to MTG because I've been banging this table for 5 years, 6 years now, talking about health insurance because most people understand now big pharma is kind of bad, right? Big pharma, okay. But big insurance, worse. It's worse, okay? Because it is what funnels everybody into this disgusting cesspool of what is called, they label it healthcare. So I'm so happy she's talking about this, and I worry for her because, you know, they don't want to talk about health insurance because now you're talking about the big money and the big players as well. We're talking about, you know, BlackRock. Take a listen to this clip.
So here we go. Promise number one, if you like your plan, you can keep it. No. Lie. Millions lost coverage outright. Millions more had their plans gutted. Not a glitch. That wasn't bad luck. It wasn't structural failure. It was just a lie. Premiums will drop by $2,500 per family. I can't even tell you how many times I heard that. I was like, this is bullshit. They didn't. Premium soared for the unsubsidized, and subsidies softened the blow for some. But people like me in the middle class, we paid the difference, and we're still paying it. Thank you. Universal coverage. Oh, yeah. I love that one. We're going to get everybody covered. The uninsured rate dropped, of course, from 16% to 11. 25 million people are still uncovered. And let's be very honest for once, because I am. A $10,000 deductible isn't protection. Okay. That's being functionally uninsured. And there's about 90 million of those. How about that? So we took them from being uninsured to being functionally uninsured. Pre-existing conditions are protected. Well, bullshit. Not really. That only applied to the individual market. Maybe 5 to 10% of the population. Everyone else already had protection. What do you think all these rules were written for? Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, big self-funded plans, they all had it. But of course, it was sold as universal. It applies to everybody. No, it applied to like 5 to 10% of people. We could have just paid for it. That was my suggestion, by the way. Essential health benefits for everyone. Translation, you lost the right to buy affordable lean coverage. No more skinny plans, no more affordable plans, no more choice, Americans. Just bloated mandates, all in the name of protection. See the words, I got paid. Subsidies will make it affordable. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. All right. This sucked. All right. No warning, no cushion, just a trapdoor for the middle class. That's exactly what it was. All right. So let's talk about Medicaid expansion. Are you ready for this one? The Supreme Court said, it's optional. States opted out, millions left behind. No Medicaid, no subsidy. Just a DC blind spot never fixed.
You guys, so, of course he's talking about Obamacare, right? And what I see here is just patterns. And, everybody gives the elite class, the cult, whatever you want to call it, the corporate gangsters, as I like to call them, this very elite upper echelon of people who are trying to shape the culture towards their product lines, which is really that's what they're doing. They have a whole product line set up. It's got climate change involved in it. It's got health involved in it, biotech, artificial intelligence. Like, you live this way, and then you have to use our product every step of the way. That's what they're doing. They're all involved in it. They're all involved in it. These people that have come together at like the World Economic Forum and all their little private groups where they show their faces. They're working towards a common goal because they're all invested in the same mega corp. And they all have their little individual identities with their companies, their little Gavi companies and their Clinton Foundation companies. Yeah, they got their little, but together they're all working in the same stream, the same flow, right? And so health insurance, if you want to, they're really not that smart. Everybody gives them so much credit. Like, oh, they're a very brilliant, genius plan. Well, you know what? They use the same pattern over and over again. The same thing happened in agriculture. When the government started subsidizing agriculture, what happens? It screws up the free marketplace. Oh, it's going to make it better. It's going to make it better. No, it's going to completely corrupt it. Now your tax dollars are funding health insurance, and you're still paying unaffordable premiums on top of that, and really have no coverage because your deductibles, 10 grand. Who's got an extra 10 grand laying around today? Huh? Anybody? Imagine if we all just walked away from health insurance. Not suggesting it, just saying. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Super thank you to, is it Huma Warrior 76 on the Rumble chat for your donation. I think that's our very first Rumble donation. I think you deserve a special crown for donating to us on our Rumble chat. Thank you so much, Huma Warrior 76. I bet that's the year you were born. 76, a fine year. A fine year. You can text me, 720-303-8868, 720-303-8868, so I can send you the link to join us tomorrow night on our weekly wellness workshop. I'd love to extend that to you, and thank you so much for your donation. What else was I going to say? Was there something else I needed to say about housekeeping wise, Jason? I can't remember now. I lost my train of thought. That happens sometimes. All this talking I do, I tell you what. So health insurance. That's the thing I wanted to just finish up about. This was the point I wanted to make about health insurance. Okay. So I'm out here working with people every single day. Okay. And I understand but the programming is deep. The programming is deep. It's kind of like telling a battered wife, trying to convince a battered wife to not go back to the abuser. Because it's all we know. It's all we know. We got to have health insurance, right? We got to have it. Do you? I mean, really think about that. I've played, I don't know how many clips on here. Okay. One of them that went was pretty popular, got a lot of response, was this average guy, who had a daughter who got injured at a soccer game or something and had to call an ambulance. Ambulance came, picked her up. Well, they didn't get the insurance at the time of transfer to the hospital with for his daughter. So he got a bill in the mail. And I can't remember how much the bill was, but it was a bill. And so he said, okay, well, I'm going to I think it was like $700 or something like that. And he said, okay, well, I'm going to send this to my insurance. I'll send you my insurance. And so he sent the ambulance company his insurance. And then he got another bill for the ambulance that was $2,400. You see, without insurance, they have to give you a cash pay price. And the cash pay price for an ambulance in this particular state was $700. But the insurance price for somebody that has insurance, it was $2,400. You get what I'm getting at here? Like, even if you had to pay $700 for an ambulance and then you had to pay another $1,000 at the hospital to get that ankle treated, you're still not hitting your $10,000 deductible. And now you're not paying $1,500 plus, or in some cases, $2,400 for health insurance premiums every month. You're basing your life decisions off of assumed knowledge. I have to have it. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Don't take my advice. I would never tell you to take my advice. I would tell you to have a serious conversation with your family and pull up this data so you can understand how this scheme works. Because once you see the common sense of it, it's like, wow, why would I do that? $24,000 plus a year on health insurance. I wonder what kind of return you could get on $24,000 plus a year if you invested in it. Could it be put in an account for your medical expenses? I don't know. I don't give financial advice, and I don't give health advice or medical advice, right? I don't do any of that. I just discuss things that I think just make me go, that's odd. And health insurance is one of those things that I just feel like, wow, we're not going to change the whole paradigm until we change that. Something to consider. Let's get to our health topic because we only got a few minutes left. And today I want to talk about this topic of heart attacks. People like, and I know, when I talk to you, you always tell me, oh, I love this doctor. I love that doctor. I love this person. And I'm with you. I love a lot of those carnivore doctors, those, I'm there. So today I want to talk about how plaque alone isn't the cause of heart attacks. Heart attacks isn't just about cholesterol. So plaque alone doesn't rupture by itself. Cholesterol plaques in the arteries are often stable, and they don't always lead to a heart attack. Triggering a clot is necessary for an acute event. So cholesterol is more like a background factor to a heart attack, not the direct cause of the acute event. So over 80% of heart attacks and strokes are not caused by arterial plaque, cholesterol, or calcium blocking arteries. It is well known in cardiology that plaque rupture followed by clot formation is a primary mechanism of heart attack. Plaque instability, inflammation, stress, endothelial damage, then a clot forms. And the clot is the acute final blow for a heart attack. So clotting is kind of the final step. And blood clot formation is the event that actually causes a heart attack. So preventative strategies should target clot formation and blood shear stress, not just lowering cholesterol. So I talk a lot about this, glycation damage, because glycation is when you've got too much sugar, right? You've got stickiness on the blood vessels. Glycation is the non-enzymatic binding of sugar to proteins. So high blood sugar and advanced glycation damage the endothelial lining of blood vessels, and that damage leads to inflammation and little micro tears. And these weak spots are where clots can anchor and then grow. So glycation predisposes vessels to clot formation rather than cholesterol being the initial bad guy. Now, the allopathic model is fixated on cholesterol. So much so that they put people on some medications to lower cholesterol that cause the very things they're trying to prevent. Look it up. It's not coming from me. Go to the drug websites and put your drugs, drugs.com, put your drug in there. Put your drug in the drugs.com website and look at all the things that can happen from those drugs. So not all LDL is harmful, but especially small, dense LDL particles that are easily oxidized and penetrate the endothelial barrier. These oxidized particles contribute to inflammatory plaques that can cause destabilization. Cholesterol is blamed too much when the deeper issue is actually oxidation, sugar, and metabolic dysfunction. Insulin resistance. I know I'm telling you about it all the time, but it is so important. High insulin and clotting factors, elevated insulin from sugar and carbohydrate overconsumption is a root cause for this. High insulin levels increase clotting tendency, elevate inflammation. And so what's the answer? The answer is lifestyle. The answer is understanding how your hormones function in your body so that you don't have to try to willpower it out. You just need willpower. You You just got to have some willpower to stop eating so much. How about understanding how your hormones work in your body and working with your body, not fighting against it? That's really the answer. That's the foundation. Now everybody, it's not a one-stop fix all for everybody. Okay. But it is the foundation. And if we get a foundation of lifestyle in place, then let's see what we can eliminate with lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like some really good, powerful nutrition, some commitment to good, powerful nutrition, getting all the high carbohydrate stuff out of your diet, getting all the sugar out of your diet, making sure you understand how your hormones work so that you can eat to support them, right? The ghrelin, the leptin, the insulin, the cortisol. And I would urge you that if somebody is touting remedies that are like, you just have to lower your cortisol, estrogen, take this, like if they're really, these are synergistic. The good news is when you start living lifestyle that is the foundation of your health, you don't have to micromanage one hormone at a time. Because it's like a symphony. They all like, oh, okay, we're getting the protein, we're getting the fat, we're limiting our blue light exposure so that we don't have, oversensitivity to it, and we're dumping cortisol in the middle of the night. We're working muscle tissue so that it can mop up insulin. Okay, we're doing all these things together like a beautiful symphony. All of a sudden, you don't have to micromanage every hormone. Oh, it's my fill in the blank. No, it's kind of all of it. There's something in the lifestyle practice that's pushing things out of balance. Does that make sense? High blood pressure spikes in sheer stress or abrupt changes in blood viscosity or flow, and that can set off clot cascades. So prevention should focus on anti-clot and vascular integrity, not solely lowering cholesterol. Therapies or protocols target reducing glycation and blood sugar, boosting endothelial repair, nitric oxide. Do not use mouthwash. Look it up. Powerful polyphenols like antioxidants. Reducing inflammation, supporting your natural flow of circadian rhythm. So getting up in the morning, being exposed to light, boom, light sets your circadian rhythm. You live throughout the day, it gets dark, you start to get tired. This is why people who work night shifts are really susceptible to dis-ease. It's proven. I'm not making that a blind statement. Go research it. They struggle. Because it's like you're going against your innate rhythm of life. I'm not saying you can't be healthy if you work nights. I'm not saying that, but you have to make modifications to your lifestyle to make sure that you are supporting yourself. You want to minimize triggers for clot formation. So you're on statins to really do your research about statins. You need to understand how these things work. You always have to have a goal with your health. Go to your doctor, he says, get on statins. If it's unacceptable to you to be on statins your whole life, then you have to look your doctor in the eye and say, what's the plan with this? I don't want to be on this forever. What's your plan to get me off it? If he doesn't know or offer one, you need a new doctor. I don't give medical advice, but that I do know. That's it. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, Explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. Naturally Inspired Radio.